Shelby says, do you have any advice on how to lower stress? I have been having panic attacks that have become more frequent due to multiple stresses in my life. I'm taking steps to cope with it all, but I'm curious how as to how you deal with your stress. Okay. Second time I'm laughing at this because it's true. Everybody has stresses. Um, Look, first of all, remember I'm not a doctor. I want to make that clear. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an MD, physician of any kind. My research is elaborate on my research. So, the years of studying whatever I studied, I looked for answers, and combination of my training in martial arts and meditation in university and many life experiences and research and so on, and has given me the ability to make sense of some things. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have no medical credentials. Having said that, and presuming that you would be in touch with your doctor, because that is my advice and suggestion to you, to contact your doctor, discuss that with him or her, and be under their supervision and care, and see what how they will be able to help you. Now, assuming you've done that and you're in good hands with your doctors and following their advice and recommendations, I will talk to you just as a regular discussion, and you can ponder on it. That's for discussion, not diagnosis or recommendation to put anything that your doctors say away or not to listen to them or that. That's definitely not the case. So, having said that, covering all fronts, handling stress starts with changing your attitude about stress. Everybody thinks stress is a bad thing. In some degree, in some things, maybe. But depends how you look at it, because the stress also smartens you up and gives you certain experiences, and there is a place for it in our life. I wonder if you've all heard the story of the lobster. You see, lobster is a mushy, soft, jelly, soft whatever entity in a hard shell. So when it grows in certain ways, a certain age, after a certain while of life, it is growing, but then it finds the place tight because the shell is hard, it's not expanding. Under that pressure, it feels that it's time for him to deal with that in a different way than just wait for the pressure of expansion to subside, because it won't. So under pressure, he feels that he wants to grow because there is limited space for it. It goes and finds a safe place under a rock or somewhere, either outside or in the ocean, I think, and then sheds that shell out and then gives birth and brings about a new shell. So what happened here? Stress made the lobster to grow. Because there was a stress, it did something about it that made him to be bigger and grow. Same thing, analogy can be true about us. Many stresses in life helps us to figure out things, become smarter, stronger, figure out ways, and it helps us to grow. And we do grow when stress goes over. We learn things and so on. I'm not saying stress is always welcome, no. But when it does, change your attitude about it. If you change your attitude about it, that okay, there's my opportunity to handle something. There's my opportunity to grow. There's my opportunity to deal with something, and I can deal with it. I'm going to research. I'm going to figure out. I'm going to, find diplomatic ways. I'm going to find, reasonabilities, and I'm going to find smart ways and educate myself, prepare myself, and I will deal with it. And that, by itself, will give you the attitude that you're doing something positive rather than thinking you're doing something negative or you're in a negative situation. No, I gotta do this. I'm gonna panic. What panic? The whole world is not limited to that particular instance that you think it has become your world. You have to have a bigger vision and become one with the whole bigger opportunity and experience of life to be unlimited, rather than making that whole unlimited opportunity of life and this experience filled journey of life to be shrink into that environment or into that challenge, whatever it is you're dealing with, and then see the whole world through the window of this experience, that my whole world would change. No, the effect of that is not going to be a whole life, your world, but we've been conditioned to forget about our importance and our connection to the bigger experience of life, and we've been conditioned to think life and being good and everything being good is limited to, if I filed this document on time for the sake of government or for the sake of this company, did I meet the deadline? Everything has become more important than life itself. Every piece of shit that we deal with has become more important than the actuality of the collective experiences, including that the stressful situation of life. And we've forgotten about that. We think every one of these stressful situations is life, and I'm going to be either make it or not. And that's become life and death for us. Every one of these situations, then we panic. We have given it a certain image bigger than what it is, more important than what it is, and we react to that, what we have made that situation, an event to be in our mind. But in fact, you should simply bring it down and says, okay, whatever it is, I'm a pretty smart person, I'll figure it out, and there are ways to figure it out, and it's not the end of my life. That's not the end of my life. It's an experience, some shit I gotta handle it. So minimize it and belittle the stress rather than thinking stress is bigger than you. You are bigger than stress. If you weren't alive, if you weren't wherever you are, the stress would have no life. The stress is there because of you. Everything is because of you. You are the master to create everything and make everything important and meaningful, including that damn stress that it would not have a chance to be even showing its face if it wasn't because of you. So you're the boss of everything. Even the stress should be under stress when it sees you. Now, having said that, one technique that you can do is, you see, when you are under a pressure, sort of, let's say, stressful situation, beside the fact that you change your attitude, you think of it differently, and all these things that we talked about, you also realize that it causes your body to react, and that reaction may increase your blood pressure. If you just stand up for a second and do what I ask you to do, you will have an immediate relaxing reaction that you didn't think is possible. That is why I want to have a possibility of someday having a little area that I can show you things that I cannot necessarily show you sitting down. So I'm going to stand up and hopefully be able to show you something. All right. So if you're standing, and I don't know if you guys can see my hands. Let me do this. Let's see. Can you see my hands? Oh no, it's even worse. All right, so let's do this. How about that? Yeah, you can see my hand. Yeah, you can see my hand. All right. Oh, you can see my hand now. Good, good. All right. So what I want you to do, Shelby, you still there? Just say hello. Just say yes, something. So I know I'm not talking to myself. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Shelby says, yes, I did visit my doctor. Just curious as to, okay, good. All right. All right. Good, Shelby. All right. So let's say you find yourself in a kind of a uncomfortable way. I don't want to give it any medical terms because I don't want it to be misunderstood that I'm diagnosing anything. Got to cover all the bases. So, so when you feel a little bit uncomfortable, unsettled, what I want you to do is this: stand with comfortable on your knees, just a little bit, wee bit bent, so you will be comfortable. You'll be like a jello, like when you're shaking your hands, your whole body is shaking. If you're rigid with your knees all locked, you won't be shaking because you're locked on your knees. But you start like this and then loosen up your knee a little bit bent. So let your body now, the whole body, shake. You can see my wrist is shaking from my wrist down. Now, like the aeroplane that increases speed on the propellers, so after a bit of shaking, shake faster. Shake faster. Shake fast. Do it with me. Stand there and do it with me. Hear me. Shake fast. Look at my hands. See how fast I'm going? Faster, faster. And relax. Shoulders down, not up. Shoulders down and relax. And let these wrist go fast, 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 fast. Now your whole body is shaking. Your whole body is shaking. Fast, 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 fast. Now relax and slowly stop. You feel something flowing outwardly from your fingertips, from your thumb, index, middle, all fingers, and your whole hand. You feel something like flow of waterfall, flow of water is flowing out and is not stopping. That feeling is the sign that your whole blood is settling down, coming down, you're relaxing, you're thinking of nothing but that flow. Everything seems like they're falling in their place in your body. Everything is organized now, and you're focused on that energy that is extended outwardly, and that is the same energy that we use to heal headaches and backaches and so on, but without having to shake. We just create it and make it flow. But for beginners and for even advanced people, this is a wonderful way of relaxing because it takes your mind off of anything else and makes you feel focused on that movement. And then you probably have closed your eyes a little bit while you're feeling that. When you open your eyes, you're naturally relaxed. Just naturally relaxed. Then you sit down, everything slows down. See, we are constantly in life moving about fast. Even if we are sitting, our internal clock and cells are moving fast. But once you do this exercise, everything slows down and everything falls into the right place. And then you have a clarity to think, figure out, enjoy, confident, because with that, whether you know it or not, that little exercise does a lot more that I will talk about it later. But one of the things that it does, it connects you with nature. That whole feeling that you have right now, I hope you do, if you've done it right, you feel secure, you feel confident. That's because of the connection you have with the source. And you have just brought more energy to you, and you connected yourself to the biggest power that exists, which makes you feel you're above the whatever it is that make you worry, and everything else is smaller than you as far as these fears and anxieties and so on, because you're connected to the whole enchilada. As you can see, I just can't talk fast right now. I don't care. The brain doesn't work, everything falls into right place, it's balanced, and you relax. So I hope the ones who tried have gotten some response to that, as I mentioned. Now what did you do to me? I want to go sleep now. So the idea is to slowly start shaking. I did it quite fast in here because I didn't want to take up too much, but you do it nicely and gently, and then increase the speed, and do it as long as you want. And of course, you're not talking, because when you're talking, that is a little bit not as best as you should. You just don't talk, just do that. Shelby says, I love that. Thank you, Mehran. You're quite welcome. Now, I don't want to talk. Just want a tea. Tea, please. Wasn't okay. That's great. Now that is that is automatically bringing mind and body coordinated. Brings coordination of mind and body, which in turn connects you with the source, connects you with the energy of the nature. Then you feel the benefits of it. Nothing extraordinary, nothing other than some, I don't know, life and death situations. Nothing really matters anymore. You feel totally in control. It's not because you shook your hand. It's because of what that shaking hand actually aligns your energy with. The flow of energy is created, which gets you merge with what you've been extracted from, which is the energy of the universe, hence your life. But you're still connected to that. But through our lives, we forget that we are connected to the source, to the energy, to the universe, to nature. And we begin to be brainwashed and conditioned to think me and that. Me is separated than all that is out there. Suddenly everything is out there, but I am me. Instead of me and it all being one, I have learned and conditioned to think of myself as separate from everything else, which I am part of the everything else. But I don't think of it that way because I'm conditioned to think I am me and that, instead of all one. Anyhow. Okay. I should restart the engine again. All right. Okay. Let's see what we have here.